little behind the scenes if you come watch live.
It was a fun one. I think it's funny that all of our stuff went from like the worst team to the best team to the worst
Yeah.
team to the best team.
And then the NL West.
Well, yeah, that was a shit show. But I think going in, I knew that one was gonna just be completely messed up.
Yeah. You want to hear an interesting stat that I was just curious? So I was looking up. Chris Bryant made, he entered the major leagues in 2015, right?
Okay, so about
His
6 years ago.
salary was $471,000. Not not abnormal for a rookie contract.
When he was a pretty high prospect, if I'm not mistaken, he
Yes,
was like
he
a top
was.
50 or top 25 prospect.
He was. But wins NL Rookie of the Year. His contract the following year only goes up to 652,000.
Well, because he was still on his rookie deal, they still had control.
Yeah. But wins NL MVP and the Hank Aaron Award. Salary only goes up to 1 million. Like the dude was the MVP and that was the best contract he could get from the Cubs. Like, god damn.
I mean, okay, but from a business standpoint, if you're the Cubs and you know you have him locked in, like, are you going to pay him $20 million?
No.
Even
Well,
even if
unless
he's
you lock him up for
well, but even if he's
seven,
worth
eight
it
years.
though, like, are you going to pay him that much money? Because that was before you got guys that literally have got nothing to
Well,
show for it that are getting 300 million or 400 million, whatever
fair.
it is.
Fair. Although, with that said, to this point, it looks like Tatis is the real deal. It looks like he's worth that contract, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't.
I said to this point.
Yeah, I don't know if you're wrong because you're right. Up to right now, he's looking like he's gonna be a future Hall of Famer
Yeah,
potentially. But I've also seen guys have a couple good years and then
of
literally
course.
just disappear.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think that's gonna happen to Tatis. Like I genuinely don't. I'm kind of with you. I think he is kind of what you would go
Barring
quote
some
unquote the
nagging
real deal.
injury. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He's,
like I mean, like Ken Griffey Jr. would be the best player to ever play baseball if he could just stay healthy in like the second half of his career.
yeah. Yeah, he fell off hard and then he went to Cincinnati and just
And just was,
couldn't do anything.
yeah, he was basically a name at that point.
Right.
Um,
But it was
so
just interesting because I was just curious to look up. I was trying to look up what he was making this year.
what is it
And
like
I
12
saw
million
that
or something like that?
19 and a half.
Okay, so a little more than I thought. But no, I'm really hoping the Giants go after him.
What's really weird about his contract though is because it's arbitration. So like you go to court and they
Yeah.
basically agree with one side or the other or meet in the middle. So in 2019, he got paid 12.9 mil. Like it had gone up every year.
Uh-huh.
He was 1 mil, 10.8, 12.9. And then in last year, oh, never mind. I'm dumb. Shortened season.
You were
I
going to
was
say he
like,
only made like 5 mil or something last
well,
year?
it's like 6.8. And I'm like, that's really fucking weird. Why? And then I'm like, God damn it, I'm an idiot.
It's prorated for the half season, basically.
Yeah. So it would have been a little more than 2019, I guess. But
Yeah, he
anyway.
probably would have been somewhere in like the 13, $14 million range last year.
But yeah, 19.5 million. And then after this season, he's off arbitration. He's an unrestricted free agent. So
Yeah, so basically whoever trades for him is going to have to offer him something significant.
right. Which is why you either get him as a rental as a smaller team. I mean, or you are San Francisco, New York, Boston, LA, or San Diego. And you get him and then offer him like a 10-year contract.
Which is what I'm hoping the Giants do. Maybe not a 10-year contract, maybe like a 5 or 6 year. Because how old is Chris Bryant?
He is 29. So
I would offer him like a 5-year deal. Maybe I'd offer him like a
I'd
6-year
go
deal.
7 max. 7 years max.
And maybe
That
the
would be
last
36.
I would do 7 with the last year as a club option.
That's fair.
I could see doing that. That way you could cut him at 6 if you wanted to, and not pay the premium for that 7th year. Or
Or
maybe
just
you,
make the first like 5 years guaranteed money,
yeah, do
and then the
like front
sixth
load it.
year not, so that you could cut him and not have it hit your
I,
salary cap or whatever, or not salary cap,
one
but
thing we haven't talked on here, and I think I'm going to chop this up for just like a fun thing, cuz like a behind the scenes. You know what we haven't talked about that I can't believe we haven't talked about being baseball fans? Like
I mean, if this is a good,
the smartest
I,
baseball player in all of baseball history, Bobby Bonilla,
okay,
getting paid 1.3 million past most of, like, he's going to be getting paid 1.3 million from the Mets after Fernando Tatis Jr.'s contract is up.
yeah, it's for the next like 20 years still, and he hasn't played in like
Like
15 years
like
at least, maybe more.
how have, like, of all the talk we've had, how have, because it was even like Bobby Bonilla day, like what, like a week or two ago, where he got like,
Yeah,
that was like the anniversary of his
it's
contract.
it's been more. He retired 20 years ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
I'm just curious. I
oh
was
yeah,
just curious because I said 15.
but it's absolutely not. He's the smartest baseball player in all of baseball history.
I mean, especially if you're somebody who like isn't good with money and you're like, I might screw up my money situation. Like,
Like,
perfect way to handle it.
he's just getting big.
You don't have $100 million in the bank. You get 1.5 million every year.
Just like, no, I'm good with like a meal. Just give me a meal every year for the next 45 fucking years. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
you'll
nuts.
always be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You always got like literally the smartest guy in all of baseball. And if I'm not mistaken, he negotiated that himself.
I don't know that, but
If I'm not mistaken, he did. I mean, I could be wrong on that one, but pure genius. Because I think he's getting paid till 32 or 35 or something like that.
uh 25 years starting in 2000.
Okay, so
Oh
2025.
no. Starting in 2011, so he's through
Yeah, so it's
2035
2036.
is the first year he won't get money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And it's 1.19 million every year.
Okay, I thought it was 1.3, but it doesn't matter. It's over $1 million a year to literally do nothing.
Yeah. I can't see anything that says he negotiated his contract. That's what I searched for.
Okay.
But what's really funny is that he was only owed, to buy out his contract, he was only owed 5.9 million.
But
And
that's,
they offered to do this instead
you
and
know,
pay him like $40 million.
okay, but think about it though. Like 5 million up front or $1 million a year that you can, like, you're going to make that and you can just throw that away.
Yeah, but you're paying $40 million versus 5.9. That's not even close.
But it also depends on where you were at salary cap wise and what that money actually does. Because sometimes with the luxury
there is
taxes,
no salary cap.
well, but with the luxury taxes and whatnot, like sometimes that 5 million becomes exponentially more.
Fair, but like if this
In
was
2011,
like
that's like when Noah Syndergaard was coming up, if I'm not mistaken, right? And like some of their big name.
2011.
No, that might have been too early for Noah Syndergaard. He hasn't been around for 10 years.
That sounds right, honestly.
Because I feel like that was the time when a lot of their big names were coming up.
They probably just drafted him. He came up in 2015
Okay.
at 22. So yeah, that would have been, he would have been drafted around 2011 or 2012.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Also,
I don't know. Deferring money though, sometimes you can just write it off. Like,
I guess.
I
But
don't
like,
know.
okay, if you would have said pay him 10 mil, $1 million a year for 10 years instead of 5.9 up front, then fine. But you're talking about like 8 or 9 times the amount of money Like it's not like a small amount more.
Okay,
Like
okay. The reason I say this though is like if someone said, "Hey, I need you to pay me 5 million right now and I'll go away," or you can just pay me 1 million every year for this amount of time and we're good and you won't ever hear from me again. Now, if I don't have that 5 million up front, I might go, fine, I'll pay you the million because I'm gonna make that no big deal. Like that's literally gonna be pocket change to the $1 billion business that is
yeah.
the Mets. Because I'm pretty sure he got that contract from the Mets.
Yeah, it was the Mets.
So maybe that was the thing. It was like we don't want to pay you the 5 million up front. Like it does, 1 million a year out of $1 billion
Yes.
business doesn't really matter.
But if you're $1 billion business and you can't afford 5.9 mil, then you're
But it's all
screwing
about
up.
what you have liquid and I don't know. I don't
I
disagree with you.
understand.
It's a lot of money you're paying extra, but there's got to be a reason they did it because you know that they had to have finance guys that goes like, "Hey guys, you're gonna be paying like 8 times what you should by fucking doing this, right?" Like,
Yeah.
so there had to have been a reason they did it. Maybe at the time they figured it wasn't that bad. Well, but that buyout though, was that before or after? Like, did they go and actually like negotiate like either 5 million up front or the long contract they had?
Oh, okay. Well, this is something I did not know about this. Bernie Madoff was very connected to the Mets,
Hmm.
and the Mets ownership thought they were getting a ton of money from the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. And so they agreed to it because they're like, we're gonna make so much money. They said they were believing they were going to receive outrageous returns on their investment with Bernie Madoff. So so the move made financial sense for the club given the information it had.
So
Once this
instead of
Ponzi scheme became public, the Mets fell into financial ruin. Bonilla's contract became an obvious and, to be fair, hilarious punchline.
okay, so
Uh,
basically they were like, okay, do we give this guy 5 million or do we just agree to this 1 million a year and put that other 4 million into the Ponzi scheme? I bet you that's what it was.
yeah,
And they were like, no, we could just give this guy 1 million, whatever. If we're gonna make, a
I
1,000% on that, 4 million, it's gonna be 10 times what we're gonna pay him over the course of the next 40 years. So we'll just, oh no.
I did not know there was any connection to Bernie Madoff in
I
this.
didn't either. As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh wow, like we're going to Ponzi schemes and shit.
Funny fact about this. In 2013, he earned more from the Mets than any of the Mets outfielders on their actual roster. They were so bad back then
Oh
that none
man.
of their players were making over $1 million.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Oh,
Wow.
I'm definitely cutting this out now.
Yeah, I did not know in any way that this was connected to Bernie Madoff.
I
I never heard any part of that.
I would have if you had said there's a famous person that did scams that was connected to this and that's why it happened, I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Like even with that much info, I probably wouldn't have ever even thought of it. That's so good.
Okay. Also, to be fair, they did win the NL that year, the year that they cut him. So they did use that salary that they saved to spend on players at the trade deadline. So,
And what have the Mets done?
man, that's
Maybe.
insane.
Okay, so I have an idea. Maybe for an episode or two, one of the week shows when news gets really light and stuff, we just compile a couple really fun, odd stories to talk about
I'm down with that.
and just like dissect and look at the different angles and just kind of have
Or
some
not
fun
even
with it.
odd, just like cool or interesting baseball stories from history.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, just stuff to tie
I
things
think it would
in.
be really cool to talk about like um the cheating scandal for what were they, the Black Sox
The, yeah, it was
cheating
the Black
scandal.
Sox.
Like that was such a super interesting like time.
I definitely think that we should add that to our little like extra thing.
I'll add it right now.
All right. I think I'm gonna end us there. That was a fun little extra segment. I think
Yeah,
we're gonna.
that's a bonus that you get for watching live. Although we're gonna post it later,
Yeah,
but
see, that's why
you got to see it happen live.
that's why I haven't been showing everything on Twitch or on YouTube. But then again, nobody knows that if you come see it live, it's different. So
Yeah,
maybe I need
maybe
to
we
say
add that
something.
in our intro outro. Like you get a post game, a post podcast show,
Yeah, right. Even if it's only like 5-10 minutes.
right? Little behind the scenes if you come watch live. Maybe I'll add that to the intro and outro.
Well, and it's true because we do this almost every week, where we
Oh
kind of
yeah, we
figure out
talked
what
five
we're
ten minutes
yeah,
after.
figure out what we're going to talk about the following week. This week, I mean, we know we knew like a month ago what we were going to talk about this whole month, so
Yeah,
we're not figuring that. But that's typically, I think, what we usually use the time for.
yeah.
But all right, everybody, I'm going to end stream there. I hope you all had a great night and enjoyed the episode, and we will see you all next week.
See you, everybody.